Let's get ready for the Inside Star Citizen Review. Hello and welcome to the Inside Star Citizen Review. You have very good taste. If you're here, I have to say one thing to you.
Just do it. Make your dreams come true. Do it. Nothing is impossible. Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it.
Bless you, Luigi. He says, thanks for the support and welcoming me in the community. We love you, Luigi. Oh, I got a lot to talk about tomorrow with you, Luigi. A lot. Listen, I've had a very rough week, and we are here. It is Thursday. I need another amen. It is adult time.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
I've been waiting all week for these precious, precious moments of adult time that get more and more limited as time continues forward. If you're here and you're watching, I have to tell you one thing. You are a die-hard DG360 fan.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
I'm doing a show that's basically a show about a show, showing the work that will be shown to the world so that people can show others and play a game. Now, if you haven't followed me on that, you're on the wrong channel. And you can leave because we don't want you here.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen?
If you did follow that, you are amazing. Have crazy IQ. You deserve to be here. And because I didn't follow anything I just said, I'm going to go now. Hey, thanks for the show tonight. It was great. Thanks, guys. See, I can't follow myself. All right, Pepe, it's time to stop the show. It's time to stop. No. I do understand myself. Okay, thank you, Pepe. Apparently, I understand myself. I had to have somebody else tell me that. What I'm trying to get at here in my slow roundabout way is that you've seen the Inside Star Citizen show drop a couple hours back. You've seen other people react to the Inside Star Citizen show. You've seen people cut it up into different types of like little vignettes, if you will. I don't know if that word applies here. I'm just thinking of a word that sounds like I'm smart. Vignettes. Vignettes. I don't know what vignettes are. I'm talking about vignettes, right, Pepe? What are vignettes? Is that some slice of beef? Oh, that's mignon. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, if you're still following me, because I'm not, let's just say this. You've seen every which way possible of Inside Star Citizen that you probably can.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
And yet, you are still here. Mind blown. There must be something about this particular show. There must be something. I don't know what it is, Pepe. There must be something about the show that people love. I don't know. Oh, please. You're too kind. You're too kind. What, they're not here for me at all? No? Okay, let's watch this show.
This week, it's another Journey to 4.0 special, where we jump farther.
Thank you, Space Dog.
Bring it down hard.
Thank you.
Someday.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro.
Man, I dance so much better.
Ahead and take a look at work scheduled to make its Persistent Universe debut in the upcoming 4.x branch of release. And this week, we're proud to bring Star Citizen art director Ian Leyland back to share with us a first look inside the buildings of Star Citizen's landing zones.
Let's just talk about Jared's fashion sense. I know that people generally don't talk about that, so I'm going to talk about talking points that people aren't talking about on their shows. How about Jared's fashion sense? What do you guys give it out of a 1 through 10? Now realize he's in England. It's raining. It's wet. It's cold. Wow, we got low scores here tonight. We got low scores. We got the low scores. He's going completely comfy dad look. Completely comfy dad. We got a 4. Milk's giving him a 4. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jared. Listen. This is very similar to my own gear. This is the tired dad look, trying to be fashionable. I've done this every single day. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that, is there, Pepe?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Pepe, keep going, Pepe. Keep going. I don't need to hear from the peanut gallery.
Zones.
So those interiors is something we've always wanted to do, because of,
That's good.
we've had cities in the game for a while. We have many cities. We have many buildings. Therefore, we could have many interiors. It's a perfect opportunity to put in a lot of play space. Now, with the players flying around these buildings, they've been largely urban landscapes, fairly uninteractable. We've done a few landing pads to get the players in and out there, but really the real good stuff was on the inside. So up until now, we've been on the outside wondering about the inside, and today we're going to talk about the inside, looking outside.
Good editing. Nice. They're getting more professional. I like these little transitions. Listen, these transitions... Oh, I can't.
All right, so we're building interiors. The way in which we approach the concept development, now this was just a pure blue sky ideation phase, and the idea was to create inspirational material to use that as a content to inspire conversations, to find out what do we want to do for the game, what is cool for the game, and use that as the initial springboard for the conversation. So what we'll be looking through here is a presentation of blue sky ideation, primarily used as a springboard.
This man's head sheen almost rivals mine, but does not. In fact, let's just right now, the narcissism meter is literally peaking right now. Put a 1 for DG's head and a 2 for this gentleman's head, which I know this guy's name, but I forget it right now. I think they even put it up on the screen. There's a 1. There's a 1. There's a 1. Hey, everybody. There's a 1.
I'm in a fountain.
No match, sir. You are no match.
To start conversations with Chris, with the design director, and the game director, to understand what do we want to put in the game, what could be cool for the game, and we use that as that initial inspiration point.
They're edging me. They're edging me here. They're drawing me into this web, and I feel like I'm this fly, like flirting with greatness, And then I get snagged on the net, and then they're like, "Ha! I fooled you. This is no journey to 4.0. This is the journey to ruin." Okay, please don't be that.
So when talking about building interiors, how could we start to break that down? So right off the bat on the top, it's the rooftop spaces. So these would be the primary access points for the player. Then just below that, the maintenance spaces, these could be industrial or technical. Also, we can have residential. So residential could be entire building blocks, so it could be a proportion. Then after that, we've got commercial. So these could be shopping, it could be offices, it could be social. And then at the bottom, obviously, we've got lobbies. Now, these also could be access points for the player. For example, if you're in...
All right. But where is the orgy room? I mean, in the future, I thought that would be a thing. No? Pepe? Huh? You don't think that's going to be in the future? I do. Vote for me as president. Every single building will have one of those. Every single building.
Inside Area 18, the player can get access to it there.
Right.
And then lastly, we've got the underground.
Hi,
now,
I'm your
these could
president.
be interesting as a connector space between buildings. So maybe you've gone in through one building, you go down, and it could bring you through to another part of a building. Let's start with rooftops. Now, up until now, we've largely designed our cityscapes to be more of a backdrop to the landing zone.
It's England.
We have the social space generally in the middle, and then the cityscape goes around
Very
it.
similar to Ohio.
And they've been designed to give the best composition, to be interesting to fly around. But we've not really thought about designing these buildings from the inside out.
Yes.
So what we're looking.
Holy shit! And I think this is something I talked about a long time ago. I want as much as this space livable as possible. Like, I think really what we're asking for here in Star Citizen is like huge. We all want just about every nook and cranny of this planet to be livable, and that's going to take a very long time. Obviously, that's not going to be the way that it is, but we want a lot of living space. We want a lot of walking around on this. I think a lot of us do. A lot of us want the entire planet to be much more livable. We want to have a space where we can live in with a cool community of people that all work together, buying hot dogs, eating them, slapping each other with them in the orgy room floor. There's still no orgy room floor planned. No.
Looking at here is some potential concepts for what could be interesting landing spaces that drives the architecture of the building. With landing pads, it doesn't necessarily need to be on the top of the building. It could be halfway down or lower. So imagine, you're in the lower parts of the city, and then we'd open up these additional play spaces. And as you can see here, it's not just the landing pad. It's the gameplay space that goes along with it too. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be a single building. Imagine there is a network hub that services a few different buildings. So what we're looking at here is maybe like a transit hub where the player could land, get on some transit, and then that would lead to some buildings. Okay, so maintenance spaces. So these could be really interesting in terms of player interaction. They could be dealing with the power or the maintenance of the building. And then also you could have technical spaces. So these would be more for technicians. It could deal with the data or the communications. And what we're looking at here is potential some,
this is awesome.
Gameplay puzzles where the player has to work their way inside the main operation booth. So moving on to residential. So there's a huge amount of potential here. What we wanted to do with residential is two things. One, explore investigating the potential player housing. So with that, we want to be able to create a variety of interior layouts. And also we want to explore a variety of architectural styles. So when we're looking at potential housing layouts, we wanted something fairly modular in a way in which we could create a variety of combinations. So whether it's living spaces or habitation spaces or social spaces. And also here we're looking at, we want the place to eventually be able to populate.
Yes. I knew they were going to have an orgy room. I just knew it. God bless them. They're thinking of everything.
Now look at this.
Oh, I knew it. I wanted a whole floor dedicated to populating. The population there, it's a rising. It's a rising. Just like my
player
mojo.
Habitation. So you see here like a first indication of how, the sort of dressing styles that you'd be able to do.
And
outside of something that's fairly utilitarian, we also want to do something that could be fairly high-end. So here we're just exploring some ideas about what a space could feel like on a different architectural style.
The key thing to any great interior designed space is flow, lighting, right? You got to have a vibe. You got to feel that vibe. And then you will populate. The population happens after that. The population happens.
Style and more generous windows, interior spaces dedicated to more than just...
Right, the rotating bed with the disco ball, the massive windows.
And these would be focused on other landing zones. So imagine you come across these in Area 18, or it could be when we come to Terra. And also, like I said, it could be informing future player-owned habitat.
By the way, it's interesting that they're working on interiors. It's interesting that they're talking about the interiors of buildings on Arc Corp. It's interesting that they're talking about this in general. It makes me wonder how far this is going to stretch into other elements of what it is that they're designing. I know that they're doing a lot of work with Squadron 42. I think a lot of systems are actually semi-done. Like, we had a leak here about Terra. Oh my God, it was years ago. I think it was like 2016. Do you guys remember that, who have been around the longest? We had a leak on Terra. We actually had a 3D modeling of Terra. It's still on the channel. You can find the link there. If you guys want to walk around Terra or see what Terra looks like, just check out my video, and you guys can check out what they did or how they have it, at least in the rough art form, designed. You guys are into that? Check out the channel. Tons of content here, you know? But I think that they've done a lot more in terms of system design than people are giving them credit for. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes where a lot of these systems are at least semi-done because of Squadron 42. And I think it's interesting now that we're talking about interiors and designing buildings for more play space. I think that's super important for the game. This is a very underrated section of design. A lot of people would just poo-poo this or say that this isn't important or this is just one of those glossy episodes. And like, really, this is the meat and potatoes of like how you get immersed into the game. If you don't have a really good like vibe going on with everywhere, and you don't have a lot of play space, your gameplay is limited and you will not stick around. Like, there's got to be places to walk around and explore. It's got to have that fidelity. It's got to have like the qualities that make me say, oh, I want to log back in and I got more to walk around. I got more to look at. And you know, that is a big point on which a lot of content creators get upset, and they say, oh, really all Star Citizen is a slideshow. Oh, you know, I can't tell you how many. It's bullshit. Don't listen to that. There's so many things to do in Star Citizen. The people are having really good times. This is a classic sandbox. This is a classic MMO sandbox. And yes, it is an alpha, but people are having a lot more experiences in this game than just walking around creating a slideshow, which you can do and which is beautiful, right? And which drags people in and gets them immersed. So when we're talking about this, I think this is like very important. I think these types of like elements of design that people dismiss, because you see a lot of content creators, they just like say, oh, this isn't important. Oh my God, it's important. This is one of those very underrated sections of design that get overlooked all the time. And a lot of people at Cloud Imperium take the time to think about like, okay, how am I gonna make something that looks so good that people are just gonna want to come back to look at it again? Like, that's a difficult thing to do as an artist and a developer, to take the time out to literally design the interior spaces so A, there's more gameplay space, but B, there's also enough there that makes you want to stay. That's a very hard thing to do.
Architectural sets. Now, outside of the living quarters, there's also the social spaces just outside. And we want these to be more than just the corridors that we're seeing in the game right now. So these could be multi-layered social spaces, and these could also inform advanced traversal routes for the player to be able to get inside these habitation rooms.
It is an adult show.
So as we're talking through various architectural styles, what you're seeing here is just a collection of ideas, a collection of architectural intent to create a palette or a mood that will inform art style and gameplay opportunities.
Wow.
So outside of residential, we're moving into the commercial area.
Dude, I love that concept art on this, dude. Like, I don't know what I'm seeing here right now, but this is really cool, man. This is really cool, man. I can't wait to see all these planets and these places that we can go to, right? And you know, I've even heard more criticisms, because I do this every once in a while. Like, I'll peek in and see what other people are saying, what other content creators are saying. I go to Spectrum all the time, see what people are saying before I watch the show with you guys live, you know, and just react to it for the first time. I kind of sneak peek at like what people are saying about the show. And like, I saw some comments that were talking about, oh, this isn't really that great because, oh, what about systems? What about systems? Like, they need to be building more systems and planets. And yet they're the same people that bitch for the fact that all there is like, you know, Stanton and you go from planet to planet and moon to moon, and that's all there is, and there's nothing. And then these are the same people that are bitching that they need more planets and moons. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Like, what is the sense that what is the logic to that argument? I like this because we're feeling out the spaces that are already developed, and we're adding another layer. We're adding another layer to it, which is important. This is the process of game development. I don't think kiddos understand it. I don't think kiddos understand it. I saw a comment today. Some guy got pissed off, called this game a scam, and he said, "Oh, $500 million, and they're doing everything the wrong way," and blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy has no clue how far this game has come. What it's trying to achieve is not like any other game, and people just cannot wrap their head around that. The kiddos come to this, and they cannot wrap their head around that very simple concept. This is a game that is the everything game, and it's going to take a long time to make, and people still don't get it. And they don't take the time to follow the game development. They'd rather bitch because it gives them the clickety-clacks if they're a content creator, or they'd rather bitch because, God forbid, they actually take some time out to know what game development is, know that it's like real people doing this, right? But again, contrary to the opinions that I'm giving right now, I will say this. It is important to keep Cloud Imperium accountable for the product, right? It's very important that it's managed correctly. And boy, I just saw something from Board Gamer talk about how they shook up the I think it was the shipbuilding team. And we were just talking about that a couple Inside Star Citizens ago, talking with John Crew. Talking about how he's a little nervous about the shipbuilding team or how it was managed, and now I hear they're shaking things up in that department. You guys hear that? That was interesting.
Gameplay opportunities. So outside of residential, we're moving into the commercial area. So what this means is it means we can look at areas that are more gameplay focused outside of player habitation. So when we're talking about these could be office blocks, these could be corporate owned. Inside here, there could be corporate wings, there could be manufacturing, there could be office spaces. And what we try to think about with these, it's more than just a flat room. There should be advanced reversal, it should be multi-tiered.
Yeah.
So outside of the commercial offices, we've also got like restaurants and bars. So what we're looking at here is a pretty cool like skyline bar in Loville. That could be fun. But also in restaurants, Chris always described the idea of really high-end restaurants in the game where you can get access to food choices that isn't available anywhere else. So
there should be, and it looks like they're kind of planning things out, how to design a society 101. And like, you're splitting ArcCorp into like the elites versus the poverty stricken, right? Like, that is how I want Arc to be set up. I want it very just this Americana vibe gone mad. I want ArcCorp to be pretty much like if America just ran with it and went crazy to the max with capitalism and like what happens thousands of years in the future. Like, I just want like the crazy taste of like how it's going to be, where you have sections that are devoted to only rich people and you have sections that are only poor. I want to see it. I want to walk around in it. I want to be like, wow, this is insane. I want to look at it and I just want to absorb that vibe. So I hope that that's what they're trying to do here.
Available anywhere else. So right at the foot of the building, we're going to start talking about the lobby. So as I said before, these are going to be access points to the player, but also we can do more than just a standard foyer that we're seeing in the game right now. So this sort of space we're seeing here is, imagine there's an underground transit network, and that
was good.
Transit
that was
station
good, Luigi.
feeds a network of building lobbies. So these could be social spaces. These could be really good combat spaces. They could have access to mini restaurants or bars or facilities. And we're just showing that in a
right, Explodo. Listen, I'm giving him his sound effect for that one. That was very relevant. And right. Explodo! I thought you were out doing something with your daughter. It's good to see you back. It's good to see you're putting your priorities in the right places. DG360 above your own daughter, your own flesh and blood. God bless him. Let's give him an amen for that one. That's an ultimate fan. That's why he has a sound effect on the board. That's why he has a sound effect on the board. Bless you, Explode. Give him another one. That's Explodo putting DG360 in front of my own daughter. Yeah. Oh, no. God damn it. Oh, he's leaving.
A variety of art styles. So one's a fairly low end. One could be fairly high end. But the infrastructure's the same. So as we're exploring
Have fun, dude.
art style opportunities, this then drives where it would be appropriate. So some would be more appropriate in somewhere like Area 18. Some would be more appropriate in somewhere like Horizon. And obviously some would be more appropriate for future landing zones like Odessa.
I was waiting forever for adult time.
And also when we're talking about lobbies, again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to describe multi-layer traversal spaces. So in these illustrations, you're seeing a variety.
I'm overwhelmed by the fans here. Can I just get a round of applause for all the fans that come to the Inside Star Citizen Review show, even though there's been 1,000 different copies of the Inside Star Citizen Review that all came after this Inside Star Citizen Review. Check the tape. It's an old show. It's been around for years upon years. I was the first. I'm always the first. I'm in a fountain. And not me. It's not about me, right? It's not about me. It is about me. No, it isn't. It's about them. It's about you and me, a little bit me. In fact, it's all me. Who am I kidding? No, seriously. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I was just overwhelmed by you guys, and I had to give you some applause because it is so nice as an OG creator, just as a content creator back in the old days, to see so many people having a good time here, just having a fun day, fun night, chilling out. And this is like my favorite type of content, which is to sit around and watch other people's content. That's parasitic? Okay, well, if it's parasitic, I don't ever want to change. Because I love it.
Roots
I love you.
To
I love
then
you all.
help
Thanks for being
inform
here. Having
the
fun
initial
tonight.
conversation with level design. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the underground. Now, this is, I think, one of the coolest spaces. So rather than just focusing on the positive axis of the building, we're going to look at the underground. Now, what this does, it means we can access a whole area of play space that doesn't need to be contained inside the building. So within a lobby, we want the player to start to traverse down into these spaces, and these could be underground transit networks. They could be abandoned underground transit networks. This then could drive potential racing opportunities. So when we was doing this, we thought, it'd be really cool. Like, what would it look like if there's an underground street race going on there? Also, there could be traversal opportunities. Like I said before, if the player wanted to go into one building, down, and then through, and then up into another building, what would that traversal network be like? Especially if we're thinking about if it's an older part of the underground of a city, maybe it's less used, people have built up. That would instantly inspire a whole bunch of traversal and investigation missions there. Or maybe there's an old aqueduct or an old infrastructure underground. This could be perfect for underground street racing or the racing opportunities. So in a nutshell, what we looked at is a blue sky investigation into what building interiors could be like for the game. These are essentially dungeon kits. We want to be able to work on these areas in a fairly procedural manner, and we want these to be dungeon opportunities for gameplay spaces. It also will start to inform the future of player-owned habitation and the type of visuals or look and feels that could be. So this ties into a much larger initiative. So we're seeing it a little bit now with the redo of Lowville. That's turning into a much bigger cityscape. And what that means is every city in the game is ready for these building interior spaces. Now, one thing to note is the cityscapes are probably going to change a little bit. Just from an initial investigation, we found our buildings are quite small. So expect to see the skylines go through a period of transition, but that's cool because that means we're designing the inside of the buildings, and then we'll redo the architecture to fit to that. So I think it's going to be super positive for the game. So just in case we was thinking it's all just blue sky concept, actually we're going to start full production on these spaces right at the end of this quarter.
Wow. I'm digging the concept art, but it is concept art, but and then I can hear it in the back of my head, but it's not there yet. That's just concept art. Right. Listen, it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time. Like, if you materially want this game to progress faster, we need to start looking at how it's managed. And I think in 2023, that's what we do, right? We call it out like we see it. We've been talking about John Crew and the ship development team. I've been talking about how really I don't like that whole concept ship vibe unless you're, here's the thing. If you want to support the project, do it, right? But like, I'm just saying, I want these ships flyable, and then you sell the ship. I mean, it's not a crazy ask. I think that will put a fire under the butt of the people in ship development. I think there's ways you can manage the teams that will increase production. You have to look at execution. Like, you just have to look at the execution of each team, and you have to say, all right, is this fast enough? How many people are needed, right? The one thing I always worry about in the business world, right, of game development for any company, for any title, is how are you managing your team? How many employees do you have? How are you executing? As an investor, same thing. If you're not profitable, why aren't you profitable? What are you doing? How are you running the business, right? This is the thing that needs to happen in 2023. I'm going to be on it. Again, I can't wait to watch this vid with you guys at the after party about the ship development team. There's some shakeups going on. I think Board Gamer put a video about it. I was talking about earlier here. I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard that news. I don't know what's going on. But we talked about this weeks ago. We talked about this a long time ago, in fact. So, let's focus on that in 2023. These jokes are definitely cracking me up that you guys are writing here in the chat. Thank you very much. Can I get some more applause from my fans? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that much like the new underground facilities we showcased before, building interiors will be a new series of modular set pieces, enabling a whole host of gameplay opportunities, from trade to exploration to combat and PvP and much more. And that, much like those new UGFs, they're going into production now, and in fact, by the time this airs, will already have started. And that the journey to 4.0 may have Pyro at its center, but it will still continue to evolve all aspects of Star Citizen and the existing persistent universe around it. Now, we'll be back.
Thank you, Coob! What's up, Limitless? I gotta read. Limitless sent me a direct message today. I gotta read that. Sorry, Limitless, I didn't do it. I've been a very bad boy. I have not read all my direct messages. It's cool. Like, the more popular I get, the more people are sending me messages and stuff. And it's just like, I'm so horrible with messages. I'm so horrible with emails and getting back to people. Limitless, I will get to your direct message. I promise, bro. It's been a crazy time. It's been a crazy world here. And listen to me. And it's been even better because you have spent this time with me. Thank you. We are going into after party mode. Let's get ready. Let's see what Jared has to say here.
Back with more Inside Star Citizen next week. With our journey to 4.0, I'm Jared Huckabee, and we'll be back in about a month or so with our next big look forward. See you then.
Damon, you're a legend, Damon. You are a legend, and everybody who's watching this on YouTube is a highlight. You know, take some time out, go to our Twitch channel, DG360, type it in anywhere you go, and what you'll find is my face everywhere. Type that in, and also a hunting ground in Alaska, which is interesting because it really ruins my ranking on Google. How dare you, government? How dare you pull in with an Alaska hunting reserve named DG360? I'm going to sue you. I'm taking you to federal court. What do you think of that? I'm going to take you to the Supreme Court for that. You can't call that DG360. If you're going to call that DG360, we need to go to Alaska. We need to check this out. I think we're going to raise some money up. We're going to raise some money up, and we're going to take a trip to Alaska, and we're going to see what in the hell's going on with the government calling a section of Alaska DG360. I'm not quite sure. I'm not really happy about that, but god damn it, Uncle Sam. I didn't tell you could do that. I didn't tell you could do that. Gonna have to tax you back. All right. I gotta get off the serious pedestal. And we gotta get party mode. And party mode is always fun because why? Well, it's party mode. I mean, come on. What the? I mean, put it together. 1 + 1 is 3. All right, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, what you want to do is you want to click the phallic symbol, right? I don't care which one. Like, just click them. They aren't thumbs. Don't be fooled. And they're happy to see you. Both of them. Doesn't matter which way they point. All right. Let's get to the after party now. I know everybody on YouTube, you are so jealous. You're so jealous. It's okay. We love you just the same for being here, even though you missed it. It's sad. It's a sad thing. Maybe you can meet us here next time. Maybe you can break records with us together. Be as one. Feel like one organism. Feel the joy of... Okay, I'm going off on a weird tangent, Pepe. Let's just get to the after party.